All right, so recently I got a question from Fajita Mix over on Twitter. Fajita Mix says, I find that having fun with art is becoming increasingly hard. I don't feel like I can post very much because the work I do is mostly school stuff or not very fun to me. It almost feels like I have performance anxiety, even alone. Do you have any advice on this subject? Yeah, Fajita Mix, I got a few ideas on this. Anytime I've struggled with any kind of performance anxiety with art in the past, it was usually because I was working on something that was not what I was really interested in working on. It was usually illustrations or subject matter that I was doing out of some sense of being assigned it. And what do I mean by that? That could be you were literally assigned it in school, or it could have been from an employer, or you might feel like you're doing it just because it's what's cool, and in a way you've kind of been assigned it without any one person coming to you and telling you to do that. Usually for me, what helped me overcome any kind of performance anxiety was awakening an idea that was so captivating to me that I could not do it. And what I mean by that is a story or characters that just pull you along with them. And that can be really hard to find. Sometimes it might require you watching some movies or listening to some music that hits that perfect note of inspiration to make you piece some disconnected story elements together and get you on fire to work on it. If you can dig deep enough to find out whatever it is that you're really into, and I don't care how weird or nerdy or embarrassing you think that thing is, if it is what you are into, what you are passionate about, whether that's a cause or a specific kind of aesthetic or some kind of spiritual thing that really just means a lot to you on a deep personal level, I would say cling to that and make everything that you create wrap around that. And once you have that, I would set for yourself a short-term or medium-term project. And the reason I say that instead of a long-term project, and when I say long-term, I mean something that's maybe more than 6 months, is because you want to start something where you can see the finish line in the distance. That way, when you hit the midpoint of the project and you're just kind of slogging through endless piles of, I don't know, rough drawings that are yet to be inked, you don't feel like the completion is impossibly far off and remote and beyond you. If you do something medium sized, like let's say a 40 or 50 page comic, maybe 35 pages even, that's certainly something that could be done in a short matter of months. And the act of doing that and completing it will serve as a confidence booster for you because you've completed something. You could take it to be a floppy comic if comics are the thing that you're doing. And if it's not, a big confidence booster, at the very least, it's going to be a learning experience. And, I say that from my own experience. There were numerous short-term, medium-term projects that I started on thinking that they were going to be the best thing I ever made. And they turned out to be learning experiences more than they were confidence boosters. But nonetheless, I'm still glad that I did them because it's inevitably what pointed the way towards the graphic novel that I'm working on right now, that I'm deeply fanatical about. And so what do you do if you don't know what you're passionate about? In that case, I would say just throw things at the wall until something sticks. Just fill up reams of blank printer paper with drawings, crap drawings, complete trash drawings that you're just going to crumple up and throw out or use as fire starter. Just the sheer act of getting your hand moving and producing something, stuff that you're never going to show to anybody else, it's freeing somehow. It's liberating. And by doing that, you start to loosen up a little bit. And out of that looseness It might take a while to get there. You might have to do 5 pages. You might have to do 10, maybe 50. Who knows how many. But out of that looseness, usually I've found something will come of it. That doesn't always work all the time. I mean, there are times where I get wrist pain and stuff like that. And in those cases, yeah, I think a break from drawing can be really good, but it needs to be a productive break. Don't just vegetate, watching Netflix or something like that. In my case, I find that what helps me the most, more than anything else, more than watching movies or playing video games or whatever, is going to the gym. And not everybody has access to a weight room, or maybe your funding is limited. You might not have access to a gym membership. The point is, if you can do anything that is outside of your usual drawing comfort zone, something that involves physical activity and puts you into a meditative, repetitive headspace, I find that usually accelerates my thoughts a little bit more. I would say, in fact, probably 80% of my big inspiring breakthroughs with any story projects that I'm working on, Wyatt in this case, they've usually happened while I've been in the gym. Other times they've usually happened while I've been on the road, on a long stretch of freeway, just listening to music, and you have to daydream at times like that. But I find that that kind of physical activity that gets you away from the drawing table, but your head is still thinking creatively, that helps a lot. And your hunger for creative stuff is accelerated by, your activity. The blood's flowing. You've got strange chemicals going through your brain. Your veins are getting huge, and you're looking like a Rob Liefeld character or something like that. And then suddenly, like a revelation, a vision of creativity comes upon you. It might take a while, but I really do think that if you stick with any combination of the things that I suggested, you should be able to shake something loose, something that you can cling to and work with that can at least get you out of the low period that you're in right now, or at least get you to where things are just a little bit better so that you can decide what you want to do next. Hope that helps out, Fajita Mix. If the rest of you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you. And if you want to get news about Wyatt, the graphic novel I'm working on, subscribe to my mailing list linked down below in the description. Social media can get pretty cluttered, so this is the best way to make sure you don't miss out on important news as we get closer to launching the book. Thanks for watching.